Hello, everybody, welcome. Rosie and Karina, psych investigators.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hello.
So, guys, I was not on yesterday. I was like, got caught up in some other things. And I know that yesterday was a very tough day for a lot of people because of the stuff that's in the news and Trump's thing with the El Salvador. But I was talking to Karina. We talked a lot today already.
Hmm.
And I mentioned to her that today it would be nice if we did something that there was a comment. I don't need to. I'm sure the somebody left a comment saying something to the effect of, "Oh, it's so depressing. Is there anything? What can we look forward to?" So I was telling her this, and it led to all these like really interesting um insights. So, Greta, do I let's start. Should I tell the story? So I guess I
Yeah, I'm not even sure how to start. So
so I'll
go
just
ahead.
start talking. So the story, guys, it's TMI in a lot of ways, but I'm not gonna give details. It doesn't matter necessarily, but.
Yeah.
At first, I was telling Queen like, "Oh, how weird that I watch all these like Nazi documentaries." I talked to people about how I had this uh, past life regression that I did myself that I saw that I had lived in that the Second World War as a young Jewish girl, and so I was telling her about I had this question about my past life experience. At the same time, I am I guess I could say regular the whistleblower. I am technically kind of a I did this whistleblower thingy. Long story
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I'm helping somebody that I can say this Jewish, right? I could say that uh,
Yes.
and I said, I said one of the things I wrote. I said it's because did this because I saw what was happening now to this man as a repetition of what happened to my stepdad's family in the Holocaust. And so, by the way, the stepdad's family in the Holocaust, they did it to everyone in Germany, that the Jews in Germany. They took over the business. So they just like I think they called it nationalizing it.
Hmm.
I forgot the name, but a few months ago, my stepdad, like maybe no, like a couple years ago or a year ago, he showed me the document. They've had found the document among his family's thing. It's like it's a nicely written in German, very sweet. Oh, thank you so much. Now we have just completed the Germanization project. So now your business belongs to the German government. So I saw but it's interesting to see a historical artifact like that. But they were so nice people. It wasn't all brutal. It was so This is what fascism is, right? It's like they do these things. But the point is that when I saw this thing happening to this man, I intervened because the guy we could we say the name, but we know the could say Peter could we say Karina?
Well, I would only say Peter Thiel's name
Yeah, that's right. So he's kind of people kind of
because
involved. They're trying to
we
take down
know him.
the
Yeah.
guy, right? The guy doesn't matter who the other guy is, but the point is, I
Right.
intervened and I stopped the thing. So as I was talking today, it came. Karina, we were talking about this. We had these questions, and it was like we were meant to come to this time to stop to not letting it happen again. And it told me it's not going to happen again, and that right, Karina, you said it
Yeah.
as I did this thing, this action that I did, and I said this guy is doing this to him because right? And we know Peter
Hmm.
Thiel is a person who identified. He has said Nazi things. It's not like a secret. He's German, like, not because he comes from not because he's German, but because we know this is his ideology.
Right. We know his history.
Yeah, and he's loves the South African friends who love apartheid. Who's not that it's also has a similar kind of different like right. So
Hmm.
so anyway, so it was that it was the message was this was that it's not going to happen again and that these things are all kind of connected that we're as we speak out about these things and yes it told us that yes this whole thing with Trump is that they have this Nazi goal. Yes, I mean it's pretty obvious, right? It's not like anybody's shocked. And
No.
the fact that they're white supremacists, that they are trying to did you see, by the way, Prana, I don't know if you guys caught this. I don't need to find the article, but it's a real story. You'll be like devastated when you hear this. But so I think it's the Naval Academy. They remove books. So the books they removed and the ones they kept. The book they removed was Maya Angelou. They removed Maya Angelou, but they kept Hitler.
Oh,
So like
God.
this tells you their agenda, right? Like
Yes.
Maya Angelou is banned. No, no. But Hitler is okay. What else do we
Yeah.
need, right? Really, that tells you everything you need to know. So so anyway, so the message was this is that no, it's not going to happen again, and that we are moving to prevent this from like, I know, guys, it may seem like you look at all this stuff is happening, like, oh, nothing's happening, nothing's happening, but it is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It
so,
is.
and it's saying it had to come to this point. Oh, and then and it's okay if I think also I share this, that I was telling Karina, like, that as we were discussing this thing in my past life regression, I got this information saying that I had come to this life with the knowledge that I was gonna have to address, I was gonna be
Right.
working, I'll just say working, in quote unquote, right, to make sure this doesn't happen again. That was
Mm-hmm.
my mission, I guess. But that's what, now it made sense. The whole story, the whistleblower thing, and then the memories of watching the Nazi documentaries, and then observing this administration, all that, because it's not going to happen again. But we were sent. I really felt like I was sent here because
Yes.
it's not been resolved yet. These
Mm-hmm.
things are still, or were still in the air, that we had to address it. And
Mm-hmm.
the barbarity that we're seeing, like, in the sense of, like, they're talk like Trump, like, talking about it yesterday, like, oh, we're not going to remove, we're going to send this and that. It shows, this is like to expose what his agenda really is. And we know, guys, this is the fact. I think it was Ivana who said he's left with speeches by Hitler next, on his bedside. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's what he believes. Okay, really. So, so that's what it, so the bottom line is this, is that I think that the reason why, I spoke to somebody earlier before I talked to Greta. We talked about this, what happened yesterday, and I said the reason why Trump and Bukele, because, by the way, so Trump had the president of El Salvador in the White House
Right.
yesterday, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, we're not gonna return the guy, return the guy." So I saw that the reason why he was saying that is because he's very afraid. He knows deep down that the curtain is coming. They
Mm-hmm.
know they don't have much longer here in power, so they're doing everything they can to scare people, to claim the power that is now legitimately theirs. Okay.
Right. Right.
So, right, Gwyneth. So
Yeah.
this is the message. It's like, and I understand, yes, he didn't do, he didn't follow through with the Supreme Court. But what I saw, right, Gwyneth, I saw that the military
Yes.
is gonna go and take the guy out of there. And I know that the Bukele man is creepy and he's not a great person at all. But both Gwen and I saw that he's saying and guys, I'm from Latin America, right? It's a classic, like, the gringo guy, gonna get money from
Yeah.
the gringo guy. That's, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like people
Exactly.
don't respect, they think the guy is an idiot too.
Yeah.
He acts like he doesn't because he likes to get the money from him. So
That's
it's
all it is.
right. That's not what, it's not as if, like, oh, I'm not saying he's a great guy at all. That's what I'm saying. But what I saw before is that they are not gonna do the thing that Trump wants or said he wants him to do. It's all
No.
theater in this sense, right? I'm not, again, he is in prison, all that, but it's not gonna work. And I see that I saw, right, that people are gonna go over there. I think people in looks like military uniform. They're gonna show the document, and they're gonna get the guy. Period. They're gonna get
Mm-hmm.
out of there. And, like, Quinn and I saw that last time we spoke, right, Quinn? That,
Right. Right.
so anyway, so that's
Yeah.
my part here. But go ahead, Quinn. Now because I talked a
No, and he's going to use it as, looking like the good guy that released him when all he's really doing right now is just taking the money of Trump's.
hmm hmm
That's all it is. He's just saying he's not going to release him because he wants the money. He's
hmm
just going to take it until he can't
hmm
take it anymore.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So, and actually, no, it's interesting. I see him being toppled not that far away. So, but Corina, you had said the things about, so Corina was telling me about this vision, right? The MLK, right?
Yes.
But I don't
And
feel free, like, to, but I just wanted to remember this, because that's ultimately, because the question, and I thought Corina didn't know, right, Corina, that
no,
I had this question, but that is kind of like unconsciously, like, she was given the information. So feel take over, Corina, take over.
yeah, I think I was given a lot of information this weekend that I needed to bring up to Rosie because, you know, I'm bigger picture, she's detail, and that's tends to be what we do sometimes is I'll tell her what comes in and it's like we just go from there. But I did have a um like something from Martin Luther King, and I truly respect that man, and I'm not saying that, I've had the same vision as him or anything like that. Please don't take it this way. But I did see the other side of this, and I have been shown the other side of it. And there's part of me that's on that other side. And so, when I do speak and I speak very optimistically, I have to say that truthfully, that I have been shown the other side of this. And so for me, that's where I have to stay. And it's kind of crazy today how this whole conversation started with, Rosie saying, I want to talk about something good. And I started to tell her that. And then I went off on this story, came back around an hour and a half later to this, that I have seen the other side. But right now, in that story that we saw today, there is so much generational karma being cleared. And that's what Rosie, one of her roles was. It came through so powerful today when we were talking about this. Huh, Rosie? I was just lit up like a little tree. I was vibing with the story because one of those stories happened in my own personal life this weekend. It was a massive, somebody I know very close personally, clearing a lot of generational karma. And I was right there to witness the whole thing. And so to have Rosie go through it, and to have this person go through it, and other people I know go through it. And so it took me to Tuesday. So yesterday, and with this person, I helped them clear. We did a lot of clearing. We did some energy work. We did massive, massive crystal clearings. And every inch of the environment was sage, everything, because it came to me so powerful that these generational karmas contracts are for human, not just individual, but they're also humanity. And that's exactly what Rosie was doing, was clearing something for humanity, not just herself. So yesterday I was sitting there and I just had this overwhelming feeling that, wow, Karina, you guys did that just in the nick of time, just in the nick of time, because I kept feeling like anxious to get this clearing done, this clearing. We had to do this. We had to do this. There was a time frame about it. And honestly, it coincided with this full moon. And the message I got yesterday was, there was so much generational karma being cleared with that moon and this weekend. And for the people, I just want to say this, for the people that have been working on this stuff and have been doing their part with spirit, been clearing, paying attention to their own lives and not everybody else's, and doing what they need to do. That was a massive leap this weekend. I feel a massive jump for everybody that has been clearing. And we made it over that. We made it over that hump for those that have cleared a lot. And there's still stuff to go, but the stuff we cleared, we won't have to go through that anymore. We're done. We're done. We made a massive leap this weekend. And I think that came through in our conversation today, didn't it? That it was just a massive weekend we both felt that there was massive things being cleared.
Mm, 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 mm. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Ooh,
So it's a lot. It's, just kind of processing everything you just said, Karina.
yeah. Can I say one
Yeah.
more thing
Going
before
to.
you start? I
Go ahead.
just want to say Maya Angelou is sitting here with me with her arm around my shoulder. She just came in and she's telling me, don't you worry. My books are in the soul of every being.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow. My words are in the soul of every being. Whew. Thank you. Wow.
And wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
That was
go ahead, Karina,
Go
because I
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
something about her, like what I see about her, also related to this. I saw that like in 200, 300 years, her books will still be like huge
Mm-hmm.
because people say, "Ooh," and it's actually, no, guys, goosebumps. It's so
Yeah.
moving actually saying, people like, remember, there was like 300 years ago when things, back in those days, they thought they had made so much progress. But this is her books help people deal with it. The
Mm-hmm.
people, her books were very important. They gave people a lot of strength. and how to deal with the dark times. Because oh, it's, oh wow, wow, I'm getting that, 200, 100 years ahead. They're going to look at our time and say, oh, that was the technology Middle Ages.
Wow.
Saying that
Wow.
when technology was still in the dark, when it was in the service of the dark.
She's
Wow.
whispering in my ear. She said, Rosie's right. Rosie's right.
That's right. They're like, wow. They look back. Oh, remember there was the Bubble Man? What was his name again? Cheeto Man.
Chiquito.
Oh, what is that?
Yes, that's-
It's like, oh, and they're saying, oh, they don't have those poison foods anymore. Not allowed. Not allowed. Like, whatever. Oh, you can go in the museum. You could look at it. They have it saved. Oh, is that right? Okay. So there was, oh, Puffy Man, Puffy. His name was Puff. Oh, there was also that one, but no, it's like the orange puffer. Oh, okay, okay. Did you know that? Oh, wow. You know what I see? It's so funny. They are showing me that the museum saved the makeup that Trump used to wear. Like
oh,
somebody,
oh.
he had a huge kit of orange makeup he would put on. Oh, did he? It was really orange. He actually orange. Oh, wow. Really? Oh,
They
yeah.
made it with Cheetos.
Did he have a problem with his eyesight? Oh, no, no, no. He thought that orange was like the sun. It was good for him in his mind. People back in those days, it was okay for men to wear makeup. He wore makeup. His vice president.
I'm
And here's
sorry.
the eyeliner, Maybelline. No, wait. It's like the Future Smithsonian Museum or something, of the eyeliner, the J.D. Vance, and it's saying this is their divorce document. Usha talks about his collection of eyeliners.
Yeah, I saw they'd be divorced one day.
That's funny. That's funny. It's creepy. It's like, oh no, but they had this, oh, they had the transform. It's like a kind of like, oh, they had their own, They pretended to like women, but they were most of them were actually ashamed of their sexuality. They were
Yes,
Republican.
yes. That's why
Like
they're
you
like
say,
that.
in the future, you'll be knowing Republican Party is the party of the closeted people that felt bad about themselves and attack others. Wow. Interesting for me. No, really, right?
Yes.
Wow.
When they're saying that, it's like, you
Wow.
know, we're at a point where gender means nothing. So love the one you're with, basically. They're like looking back
Oh,
going,
that's right.
we're
That's right.
the
Yeah, they don't have they like because they're looking at it like, oh, look, wow, that's really they did that because it's that's right. And I see they have the psychology advanced. Back in those days they had this narcissism thing. Oh, really? What is that? Oh, it was like people were really obsessed about them. They would attack others if they were a little different, and they put the shame that they felt within onto others. So wow, interesting.
what came through today that we were clearing generationally? Narcissism.
That's right. That's right, Karina. That's right. That's right.
That's
So
right. That
wow.
was one of the big things that we're all facing. And, that's another thing. In every situation that I've been seeing and dealing with and helping people through, it's about narcissism somewhere in their lives. They're dealing with a narcissist.
Wow, how interesting. Wow. So, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So we can ask Karina if you can you okay. I'm just curious and then I'll do it because since I'm like a way ahead. Uh if you ask Maya Angelou, what does she know? Because people want to know what was it? What to look forward to. Can she tell us what can we look forward to?
Okay.
In the near future, like concrete things, changes, I guess, or something, whatever she wants to tell us. Okay. So,
Interesting. I'm getting more information for myself, my role
Go
in
ahead.
this.
Uh-uh.
And so it's not really the concrete what I see for the future because
Mhm.
she's telling me, she did say that what that vision I had with about the Martin Luther King seeing the other side. She said, "Yes, honey, you did. You did. You've already." She showed me my toes, my feet. I'm already there.
Mm,
Like I'm in that energy. I've seen it. She did tell me that, and but she did take me bigger picture. She did not show me details of how the crash down comes or anything like that because that's when she took me to my role. And how do I say, the little part that we talked about earlier about me not wanting to see the details before we went on video,
mhm,
when I was taken to a vision, I asked to go back out because I didn't want to see it.
mhm. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah. She's telling me that's why the details aren't there for me like that because of that. And she wants me to focus on the bigger picture of leading people through these times with the work that I do and with the energy frequencies and not dip into that because she knows what that little scene did to me.
mhm.
So she's showing me the bigger picture of my role in this. And I'm sorry that's where it took me,
No, that's
but
great. That's great. That's great. That's great. So, no, that's great, Karina. That's great. So because I see, okay, I do see. So I've just, is it okay if I'll take over from,
yes,
so,
absolutely. Please
so,
do.
one of, just to tell you guys that what Corinne is referring to is that she was looking to earlier about, something about the whistleblower thing I did, and there was some dark visions there about the things that are going to be exposed in the near
Mm-hmm.
future. I think in future, near-ish, right? Not that far,
Right.
not necessarily maybe after Trump is gone, but not that far really out there. And I saw that so as you're seeing this, I saw that always see the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Brown speaking to the nation, and
Mm-hmm.
he's not afraid. This is the thing that whatever hesitation, reason Kamala or Biden had to not do, they couldn't maybe, right? There was a lot of things, but no,
Right.
you see, he's not afraid and saying the military takes over to get the
Mm-hmm.
rid of the guy because, and I see that General Brown is very clear about what matters. He's like, I'm not letting these people, my men die for no reason because of this crazy man,
Right.
the compromised Manchurian candidate, really, right? The guy he works for another country, and it's going to come, and it has to come out this way. And it's saying this is why it's meant to come to a head because they know that they don't belong. The power is not there. They stole it. So they have to make it concrete. There's a reason why they're being so threatening and saying all these things because they want people to comply. People are not compliant. That's why they're, in a way,
Right.
saying it sounds strange, but the reason why he's being so aggressive is because people are not complying to the way they thought people would.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's saying it's not really working in the way they expected. And that is,
No.
it shows me the thing. I always talk about the Scooby-Doo scene where they lift the bag, and it shows like the person's face. That
Right.
is going to happen. Okay, so what to look forward to? What is the question? So it's saying, no, it's kind of sad but nice at the same time. I say that it shows me that there's like a prison, almost like a prison that the Trump is in prison. All these people are kind of not kind of, they're in confinement or some sort of prison, but it's all a big skyscraper, meaning transparent. Everybody could see it. Everybody sees
Mm-hmm.
it go down. It's not a secret,
Right.
and it happens at once. And it's saying,
Yes.
it's saying, wow, with the irony, okay, wow. And it's saying, the thing that Trump used, and the Supreme Court said, I don't have a problem with that. They said, right, there's the Alien Act,
Yeah.
17 something. You're Russia talking to him, you come here for president. No, we have Alien Act here. Russia not the problem. You don't have problem with him putting people in El Salvador. No. Right? Sorry, I hope people don't have to complete that have the accent. But I was doing nothing here. I Russia because you don't like me because I Russia. And it's like, no, you're just gonna go over here, sir. It's the Alien Act. The Supreme Court
Yeah.
is supposed to use it. So, so in a way, it helps. Thank
Yes.
God to put these people away. Oh, sir, no, it's a danger to United, danger to the United States. It's true, right? It's true. These people are. So it's much.
Yes.
It's changed. So the criteria changes, and so that's what I feel like. It's saying, yeah, it is very shameful to see, but this is who they are. They are showing us who they are. And it's saying the world needs to see it. Americans need to see it. Even the ones it's saying they're gonna be maybe 3% of the population who's still gonna, like him. Just the way that it happened in Germany, there were still people who thought that Hitler was great.
Right.
No matter what.
Of
They
course.
didn't
Of
say talk
course.
about it publicly. The same way here. So, but it has to come out for the
Yeah.
all the people that, oh no, but he's very, remember months ago they said, what, Trump is very good for business. Remember how they would say that, like, oh no, but he's very pro business.
Yeah.
Biden, like, remember? So it's like Biden is, his, remember, Biden is old. He turned to the right when he should have turned to the left. Remember, like, we walked and we had,
Yeah. Exactly.
that's his problem.
Exactly.
Biden, oh yeah, he
No.
misspelled a word or misspoke. Oh,
Mm,
let's make, and there were like 500 articles about that, right? Like,
yeah.
so,
Exactly. Yeah.
so now it's like, do we have the real, like, it's funny, real treason. I see the face of the heir of the New York Times. He's, I guess, my age or something like that. And he's like, wow, I contributed to this. He's like, damn, I was wrong. Mm.
Yeah. I think they're all going to have egg on their face pretty
Yeah,
soon here.
so that's right, because it's saying, Russia, remember the Russia hoax. Remember how you say, the Russia hoax was very real. Oh, and I see that the person who gets a medal is Christopher Steele, the guy who wrote the dossier. They're like, oh, it's never been proven. It's never been proven. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Russophobia. It's never been proven. Never.
I
And so
think,
they're like, oh no, then he gets all these medals everywhere. Like, oh, it's true. It's all true.
yeah. It's all true.
All
It's all
true.
true. They always try to bat down the truth. So, of
So
course, it's true.
when I see one of those shows, that night shows, the talk shows that have the comedians that say, it turns out that the PB tapes are true. Ha ha ha, who knew? So it does, wow, it shows that it's gonna come. Not that we have to watch it, but
No, it is coming out, Rosie. It's like all that, even that stuff earlier. It's sadly, we're going to see the depths of depravity come out. We have to, because that's what was exposed earlier as well. It's like, it's the things that are happening behind the scenes in the underground layers that we need to see.
mm,
We need that stuff to be exposed because that's what they're using their money for.
mm,
The bulk of their money is for horrific things.
mm.
So it's like we're going to be exposed to the depths of depravity when that comes out.
And it's saying that is gonna explain their behavior in a way,
Yes.
saying why they're so desperate, why they do these crazy things. And it's saying Philonia,
Yeah.
Leon, right? Even
Right.
Leon's behavior, it's like, oh, because they're pressuring him, they have the information, they have the tapes or whatever, all the things he's enjoyed or he's done, and they're like, we're gonna make it public, we're gonna make it public. And
Right.
see, at the end of the day, most of these people have these tapes in a way or another, and it tells me, no, Pam Bondi, at the beginning of the presidency, they're like, oh, we're gonna release the Epstein tapes, and nobody talked about it anymore. She went through it and decided not to release it. Mm.
Exactly. Because it would have hurt too many of her bosses.
That's right. So that's
Yeah.
right. Now forget about it. No, no, it was a mistake. It was a mistake. Forget about it. Forget about it.
Yeah.
So then when I see that Felonia, he's going, no, no, no. He's like and I see that he's seeing real. Oh, wow, he's watching somewhere. He's like in some dark little room. He's on like CNBC. He's like, wow, crap, wow. Guess what? Tesla's going out of business. And then it turns out that Elon Musk was involved with some illegal activities related to minors or something like that, or women,
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. Like so,
Hmm.
or like so it's all gonna be public, and you're like, because it's saying, Elon is saying the whole thing of him, and I think Trump too, like create the false image of who they all know. It's like, I'm a great businessman. Both
Of
of them are
course.
great
Of course.
businessmen. I'm just this not. It's a lie. Everybody knows it's a lie, and they have
Yeah.
to create this false image to cover up the real darkness, the real
And
awfulness.
project who, they always call everybody else what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime they tell you that somebody is doing something, they're the ones doing it. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know, I,
Wow.
I'm sorry, but we're going to see that. But we have to. And, I was telling Rosie, I was trying to explain that last time. It's those things that have to come out, the depths of depravity, because those are the things that are going to make them so ashamed and exposed and caught. That's what they're afraid of. They don't care about money laundering and all this stuff that you read in Vanity Fair of them. They don't care. They put it out there. It's the stuff that's done in the layers that they're scared, running scared. And that's what's about to be exposed for these people. But I'm sorry, but we have to see it because that's the only way we'll ever get through this.
Wow, it's amazing, Corinne. No, because wow, and I see, let's see. So I do see again, I was telling Corinne also earlier that I go on Twitter sometimes. I know I should go to Blue Sky, but I found there's this Russian oligarch, the guy that Witkoff meets with. So Witkoff, he said, so the other day Witkoff said something like, by the way, he's the envoy for Trump's deals, so goes to Russia all the time. And the other day he said something like, oh, Ukraine has to be divided, it has to be just like the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall, you split one for the West, one for us, whatever. And
No,
so, I saw that someone said show that in the Russian propaganda, in the actual Russian news, they're talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna split Ukraine just like Poland. We're gonna do, blah, blah, blah. And it's like he's literally saying exactly the same thing, kind of like this whole concept of going back to Cold War. Like this is how aggressive these people are, right? And the
yeah,
Witkoff is repeating exactly the same thing. So then I saw this Kirill, I think his name is Dmitriev, is the one that Witkoff meets with, and he was saying something like, "Oh, it's so nice to see Russia and the U.S. A friendship is realigning," something like that. And they brought back the thing that I had seen before again, that the moment of the downfall for Trump is going to be when he decides to push the military to go help out Putin,
yeah, exactly.
and
He's
that
going
that's
to
like
try to give our
that's what
military
happened.
to Russia.
And that's
Yep.
it. And that's when he goes down. I think it was very, very loose. He was about to go down, and he's like the last thing he could do is to try to push the military to go. Ukraine is like and he's saying to the military, Ukraine wanted it. They were the ones who started the war. They were the ones
Yeah.
who said they want to join NATO. It's their
Yep.
fault because this is exactly what the Russian war. It's their fault. Zelensky's horrible. He's telling them. And then they're like, okay, sir, you have the right you have a right to be inside.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. They're like, that's
That
it.
white glove comes on his shoulder. I'll tell you that.
It's right.
It's
So I see that it's not. You're like, what? What are you doing? I'm a
yeah.
president. You don't understand. I'm the president. I'm this. And then I see that he's like, my meds? Where's my meds? Give me more. Like I think he's like, because he's
Give me a
collapsing.
Diet Coke.
Yeah, or like, where's my alcohol? Where's my cocaine? Whatever this or whatever. Right? He does drugs like to keep. It's like, and
Oh
his life
God, yeah.
collapses. So
Yeah.
that's right. And then they use the Alien Act to get all that off. You Russia, you go here, but and it's like no. And I see that and say like, well, just as President Trump himself did it, we can take, for according to Illegal Aliens Act, we can imprison people who we suspect are truly doing something to harm the It's true, right?
Yeah.
That gives them
And
too.
we should.
Yeah, like, and then I
It's
see
about time we utilize that
that's right.
stuff, you know?
Hmm.
Wow. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That's right. So then but I see what people are so back to the question, what do we look for? I see everybody crying on the streets, so happy to see finally these people were caught. But the thing is that by the time this happens, and I'm not saying it's far or close to the point. The point is when it happens, it's warm. It feels very warm to me. So like it's getting warmer, right? So
Right.
it's not like far away. It's close. It's getting warmer. People also with jean jackets, so it's not that far, it feels like.
Yeah.
And
I
then
don't
right.
exactly.
And I see that like, wow. And the reason why people are not shocked is because of his behavior. And like we have them all, we have so many, how many more times do we need to see?
How
You
much more proof do we need? Exactly. You could write volumes and volumes and volumes with proof already. How much more do we need? We don't,
know, yeah.
so it's like
So
everything is out there already.
Yeah, oh, and I see that the thing about it is saying for he is going to start saying that we want the military to help Russia publicly, and when he actually finally goes to the military to ask for it, that's when like bye.
Yeah,
No.
because they really can't until that point.
Hmm, hmm. So
He
because
has to
oh,
try
that's
and
what he's
invoke the
working for.
military.
That's right. So and that's like they go down and everything. And I see that, they made it so it's interesting. Oh, you know how it's funny. There was another question the other day that asked about the 3 days of darkness that I had seen before, YouTube, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
And I see that they are going to close the markets when this happens. They're going to have, right? Because they don't want the
Yeah.
volatility
Right.
to crush
Everything.
the economy. And they don't want people to also be worried about that at that moment.
Right.
So it's like it had to say this happened on 9/11 also.
Yeah. It
And
has to be. It's a good thing I get people. I
mhm,
don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of those 3 days of
mhm,
darkness. If
mhm,
if and when we experience that, because actually take a deep breath and know that if that comes about, what we're in, we're in the rebirth. It's coming. The rebirth is coming because that's what we're waiting for, is for
mhm,
everything to go
mhm,
down.
mhm.
So don't be afraid if that happens.
Yeah, and I see that there will be some confusion. Oh, and Karina, interesting. Karina, okay. I mean, not don't need to be too detailed, but I remember Karina when you said I was gonna go. I was thinking of a trip that I could do on May to go abroad
Yeah.
to see my family. Long story, and you're like, Rosie, I'm getting a feeling that maybe not early May, maybe wait, it could be late May, but then it tells me it's just showing me that the airports could close for a bit,
Hmm.
and that's why to wait
Yeah.
doesn't make sense because they,
Yeah.
if it does happen this way, the bad people want to try to leave the country, and they're going to try to use airplanes and
Right.
right. So
Right. Yeah.
so
I think it's going to be everything. Just, everything shut down. And I'm just going to use this as an example because it was kind of that feeling of that I get right now.
mm,
Remember when COVID first happened
mm-hmm,
and everything shut down? And I remember walking outside to
mm-hmm,
my mailbox one day, and I'm really sensitive to sound and vibration and all that. And it was the most incredible feeling in my body because there was no sound, there was no vibration. It was perfectly silent in a
mm,
beautiful way.
mm,
It was like the world took a breath, and I know it was a bad time, but what I'm speaking of is the silence that happened because everything was shut down. There was no cars on the road. There was no people out and about. Everybody was too afraid to go outside. But it reminds me of that kind of silence
mm,
that will happen because everything has to go silent. It's like radio silence. I get that radio silence. So everything's going to go down. Everything's shut down for our own protection is what I get, for our own protection.
mm,
So they can really keep an eye, on the sky. They can take, if there were people trying to get away, they have full control over the airspace, everything. Banking, everything's going to be shut down for our protection.
mm-hmm. Not for long, but for a few days, right? To just
Yeah,
so
right.
because it's saying compared to the madness of this man, and it's saying it's gonna be like this until he leaves. I don't think we're gonna have a moment like, oh, he calmed down. No, he's gonna.
No, we never
This
have.
is he's saying this is how they keep us out of balance so that he could take over power. That's what he wants, right? So
Yes.
so it's not gonna. It's saying the end is not gonna. It's not gonna
Mm-mm.
work, but that's what he wants, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know how we said at the beginning when we were talking, this felt exhilarating?
Mm-hmm.
And um, I was just showing the difference between how. Do you remember me saying that Ruth Bader came to me with tears in her eyes? Or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
did I say that to you? She had
Mm-hmm.
tears in her eyes, and it was actually for me because I was exhausted.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like
Okay.
I was so ready for this change.
Mm.
And so it just showed me that same vision with her and Maya Angelou
Wow.
of being so excited for me
Mm.
that I felt exhilarated. So the change is coming. We just have to hang in there, everybody. I know it's so hard. I'm
Mm,
affected just as much as everybody else.
mm,
We all have things we're losing. We do.
mm,
But please hang on to that vision. It is going to get better.
mm-hmm,
And I'm just going to hang on to the vision of seeing the other side of this
mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm,
we all get to. If you can
mm-hmm,
just believe it, just get there. We'll get there.
mm-hmm. Yeah, no, totally, totally. So, wow, no, let's just see one more thing. Well, so and I asked you just before we go, because one at some point today in this video, Quinn and I, the part when I was talking about 200 years ahead, right? I kind of asked
Mm-hmm.
just now, so tell me about like when, the next, what to look forward to. And I see that the people down the line, they're like 200, 300 years ahead, are like, wow, and then justice started, finally. They used to have these
Mm-hmm.
buildings where they called it, there was Justice Department, but they didn't really do anything about it. It's a They really didn't
Yes.
do the things. They didn't go. It was only for some people. It was only if you're poor or if your skin was a little different color. For the
Mm-hmm.
most part, right? It's like they really didn't go after the people that stole this. It shows that then there was a new Palace of Justice, something like that, where these crimes are considered real crimes because it's saying fraud is going to be taken much more seriously and stealing the money of people, like and defrauding, like Elon Musk is doing. By the way,
Right.
I don't feel like they're going to be able to stop the Social Security or anything the way they want, but it's going to
Mm-mm.
show how so many of like all his companies are saying, before him there was a man called Bernie Madoff, but compared to Leon, he was so minor. This is like when
Yeah,
people find out how much fraud existed with Leon,
exactly.
everything is gonna pale in comparison. It's like the biggest fraud of all time or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna show. So but anyway, it's like people can look forward to justice. Wow, how interesting. Yeah, this is the era of justice. It's saying it's gonna start.
Yep.
It's saying it's gonna start in
Woo.
May. They're telling it's gonna start in May. May of when? 2025. Wow. And we are 2325. Looking back.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. I
Yep.
see that people
I
like
see
it's
justice
funny.
rolling in.
They don't it's saying they don't have like I don't know, there's no cars. It's like they have a button, kind of like they travel with like
I
kind of
want to go
fly
here.
or
Beep.
something. It's kind of cool. Like I want to like a little belt that you press and you go go up
Yeah.
in the air.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
It's like I just want to go here. Beep.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That
So
would be
cool.
great for
It's
people that
cool.
get motion sickness.
Wow. Oh yeah. So interesting. Okay, so what I say, guys, right? That's it for today. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that was nice. Nice. Thanks for
That
watching.
was good. That was good. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Prayer and energy time. Let's use this time to send energy to people healing and going through complex health challenges. Their bodies need the energy we send them. Bo, recuperating from intestinal surgery at the Mount Sinai Hospital, battling cancer and winning. I spoke to her today and I felt her mother telling me she will survive and thrive. Cecilia, her sister, visits her daily. Cecilia is herself also battling cancer, and she's also winning. Bella is also undergoing cancer treatment. Let's envision her pain free and 100% cancer free. Treatment. Let's send Bo, Cecilia, and Bella energy. Bo, Cecilia, and Bella are fully healed, full of energy, cancer free, and proud to tell this story of great health and recovery. Okay, so just going to be silent for a bit as I send them energy right now. And I hope you do the same. And also, you can think of others that you know, your loved ones, someone that you feel may be in need of energy, and focus on them. Okay? Okay, so let's start. I'll be silent here for a little bit. Thank you again. Let's create this circle of energy around them. And so it is.